Welcome back to another episode of We Roguelike It. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And Monkey Sr.
Yo.
This time we're starting with a brand new game, Void Bastards. If you're not playing this at this point, it's free via Game Pass on PC and Xbox One. I don't know what stores it's available on because you should have Game Pass at this point. So go download it there.
Totally wussing out of actually doing the research there, Boston. I see how it goes.
Saw right through me. Crap. I have already played a ton of Void Bastards and talked about it on TVGP, so why don't we start with someone else? Let's start with you, Monkey.
All right, so this week I got to play it once on Monday for like 3 hours, so a good amount of time. It's really interesting. I really dig the art style. Like,
yeah,
it's super cool. Like that comic book. Like, it.
I think it's one of the few things that tries to look like a comic book that I think really succeeds.
Yeah,
because a lot of stuff is like, oh, it's a comic book, but it kind of has a standard cell shading to it. There's something about Void Bastards I think works really, really well.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that like it does that, it on the screen it says tap tap when you're behind the door. I was like, oh, that's super cool.
And the best thing about that as well is those audio cues tell you what type of enemy is behind the door as well. Like if you've got like sludge, then you know it's like a tourist. If it's like
or hover,
or hover or stomp. If it's a stomp, then you know to turn around and run away.
Get off of that spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess I haven't played that long because I'm not really sure how I feel about it not starting you from the very beginning. You know, it like when you die, I mean, it starts you at the very ship that you died at, and I don't know, it's an interesting way to do it. I mean, it makes sense that it does it that way because you're playing as the ship, I guess, or your home base is the ship and it follows you. That makes sense,
right? I actually kind of like that mechanic because I feel like that takes the pressure off of, because I think there's an Iron Man mode in the game, or there's some difficulty that does that. But I think I kind of like that because I like both roguelikes that do the permadeath, like the genuine permadeath, where it's like, all right, let's go through the tutorial again. But there's something about this game that I think because there is sorry, I got distracted because my router over here is flashing that it doesn't have any internet, but we're live. So that's fun.
Makes sense.
I like that I can take a little bit, like I can take more chances, I can take more risks at like, all right, this place has an upgrade I sorely need to, like I'll give myself like double health or 50% more oxygen, but there's a ton of screws in here. If I can get in there and I can get it and I can get out, that'll be really great. Whoops, I died. That's okay. Yeah. You know, that the pressure is off a little bit.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to recommend for people, I think, where it's like, if you die, you start right back, you get a new roll, you start right where you died, and then you kind of keep going.
Yeah, it feels like the rogue elements are based on your character specifically, like how many modifications, like gene modifications and stuff like that did you do? You know, Did you remove the negatives? Did you keep the positives? Like, there's so many of that stuff in there. Let's throw it out first and foremost. So everybody starts with the smoker, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Did anybody get any interesting rolls for positives or negatives?
I thought I would, because I forgot to mention, I actually started my game over because I sort of wanted to start from the beginning with both you guys, and sort of got myself in a bad spot in like depth 3 and 4 when I wasn't really ready for it, and I didn't feel like going all the way back up, so I just
I did that with depth 2. I got completely wiped out by a bunch of pirates, like my first jump into depth 2. It was just like,
pirates are so rough.
Yeah.
And torpedoes aren't that plentiful, so
nope.
Yeah. No, I haven't really. On my first run around, probably the more difficult one I got was where the whole world was black and white.
Okay.
That was exceptionally more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
My second character I thought it was super interesting. So he was super tall.
Yeah.
And doors opened automatically for him.
Okay.
I love the automatically opening doors.
Those are so... that trait was so good because I got to the first, like, I guess, story ship where you have to get the thing.
The printer, is it?
Yeah, I think the printer.
Right.
And then, like, all the doors are locked. But for me, I could just run through everything. It's like I didn't have to pay, so now I have so many credits left over from that. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
My current character's got some interesting perks. I say interesting. Their negative perk is that they're anxious, so they get concerned and that combat is going to start at any minute. So literally, I'll just have the start of combat music spike up in the middle of like an empty room.
That's so good.
And it's just like, I literally spin around. It's like, there was no one there. My character is just being anxious. Great.
That's really good.
That's a really good way to implement that.
Yeah, the positive aspect that they started with is they are insured. So every time I take damage, I get the whatever the currency is, like the golden ticket
the
currency.
credits.
Yeah, I get them every time I take damage. And it just pops
really
up in the
good.
corner. It's like, insurance payout, 1 credit. Insurance payout, 5 credits. Insurance payout, 1 credit.
Oh, man. That's so good.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I've had that has been really frustrating is when you're extra short, because you actually have to look up to hit the button to open a door, and that gets a little tiring.
Yeah.
I have not yet gotten the proper names buffed.
Oh,
though.
I want that one so bad.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, overly polite or something? And
something like
refer
that.
to everybody by their proper names.
Yeah, so
so
good.
stupid.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm at this point in time. I have the printer. I have the ID card. I am at the human resources machine. So I need to go build the human resources computer right now.
Yep.
So
that's where I'm at now too.
Started me on depth 2, and I'm like, okay, let's hope I don't see any pirates because I don't need to be dealing with pirates right now, considering they wiped me out in like 4 seconds flat last time.
Yeah, I managed to kill a couple of pirates this time. Mostly because I had a bunch of bushwhackers. I had like 15 on me, and they were at the end of this hallway. So I dumped 10 of them inside this doorway. I shot them once and sort of hung back in the corner, and they came right up to him and totally blew both of them up. It was really great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But if they had seen me, there was absolutely no way. That wouldn't have happened.
I like the upgrade system in this. Like, I like the searching for random loot to try and upgrade the different weapons and to unlock the new stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I've just got the padded vest, which makes me laugh because it's basically just a fluffy mattress that you put on.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I wish they were a little bit... I wish they forced you... Because it took me... On my first playthrough, it took me so long to figure out to switch to searching mode and then click on the item I want to upgrade, and that'll show on the galaxy map. I wish they forced you to do that, because by the time I did that on my first run, they don't. They don't, because they say, you can go do this thing. See you later. But they don't make you switch to that tab and search for it. I wish they did, because that would have made my first run way, way easier. Is like that first pistol, when you get that damage upgrade, it's a fairly significant upgrade.
And it looks cool as well. Like, it's a genuine like visual upgrade for the thing too.
I like the staple gun. It's instead of a shotgun, you're just shooting out a handful of staples. Like, the weapons are pretty cool.
The sense of humor as well is pretty spot on, because the staple gun makes me laugh because it's a staple gun, which is essentially a shotgun. Do you get the perk where you can find more ammo for that weapon in specific areas? Like, I don't have the pistol one yet, which I really am trying to find so I can get more bullets, because I like the pistol. The thing that makes me laugh about the staple gun is you can get them from Vox ships, which are the medical ships, and specifically in the surgery theater is where you find like a whole bunch of staples.
Yep, I think there's all those little things in this game that, if you don't think about it, it's like, oh yeah, they're in the operating theater. It's like, wait a minute,
it's
like
a staple gun. Oh well,
like it's all this little stuff, and just the main idea of the game being these rehydrated felons that you're playing as. It's just like that blue goop that somehow turns into a person. Like it's, and I really like when you build the ID card, they say that, due to your service, we've taken 16 days off of your sentence, which will largely counteract the thing by falsifying an ID card.
Yep.
It's like, great. Okay.
It's got a really solid sense of humor, and if you're interested in some extracurricular activity, the lady who did the voice acting for a lot of the juvies and stuff was on the Giant Bomb E3 couch for day 3, I believe.
Okay.
And she is Scottish, and it's hilarious listening to her talk about because she wrote a lot of the dialogue for the game.
Oh, cool.
So because people didn't know how to pronounce or how to say what she was writing for it, she ended up doing a lot of the voice work, I believe. So it's just her in an audio booth swearing her head off for a couple of hours because the enemies in this are so filthy mouth. Like, it's hilariously done because they're just these tiny little squeaky things speaking with a Scottish accent, just swearing in your direction. It's hilariously funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
all right. Any final thoughts here before we?
I was just going to ask Monkey, where about are you up to? So are you getting the?
I just got the printer.
Okay,
and
so
then I stopped it for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you take advantage of that search mode. I actually upped the difficulty on this time. I jumped up because I was playing it on easy peasy because I wasn't feeling it right then. But now I just jumped up to normal, which is pretty good. Like it's not
normal's okay. I feel like there's you can't rush into a room with 5 peeps, but if you can sort of get them corralled in a hallway, you do a pretty good amount of damage if you do some headshots. So it feels fair.
Yeah, and be aware of the first time you come across a ship that has peepers in it because they are not nice, we'll say.
No, unless the peepers are on your side.
Which I did on that ship the second I could, because I was like, oh boy, now I'm dealing with a monsoon of enemies, so I'm just going to override this security.
Yeah, one of my favorite... I guess it's a perk when you go into a ship is, one enemy type is on your side. And there have been a number of ships where peepers are on my side, just permanently. And that is really good, just waiting for them to find an enemy, and then the robot they spawn is also on your side. It just clears out a ship for you.
Yep.
It's really good.
It's so dumb. I mean, it's great, but it's dumb.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, that is our first week of Void Bastards. We've got 3 weeks left, and we'll sort of see how far we can go in the nebula. And we'll be back with another episode, so we'll see you all next run.
Bye.
Goodbye.